This morning you woke up as you always do, but your body whispered in a different language: stiff shoulders, a heavy back, a mind wrapped in a thin fog that has yet to clear. You sit on the edge of the bed, glance at the clock, breathe slowly, and wonder why some people at 70 or even 80 can step into a new day as lightly as the wind, while you, just past 60, already feel slower than before. Is time quietly taking something from you, or are you unknowingly giving it away, morning after morning, within the first 30 minutes of your day? The truth often hides in the smallest of things. It is not about a grand transformation, not about iron will or rigid discipline. It is about choices as delicate as threads, weaving into a net that carries you through the day. A breath placed just right, a movement made at the right moment. A gentle reminder to yourself instead of self-blame. It may sound too simple to believe, but it is that very simplicity that makes it easy to overlook. And so the weariness builds, worry seeps into your routine, and the morning becomes a hill that feels harder to climb. If you have ever asked yourself how others remain so full of energy, still smiling as they move beyond 70, perhaps the answer lies right at the doorway of the morning. Today, I will open that doorway with you. In the first 30 minutes, there are 7 quiet secrets few ever mention, small changes that can transform the quality of life itself. Are you ready to try a morning unlike yesterday's? Let us begin. 1. Waking up on time. There is a tiny clock that lives deep inside every human brain. For decades, it quietly draws the curtain of day and night, reminding the body to sleep, nudging the mind awake. But after 60, its hands begin to falter, the signals grow weaker, the call to rise no longer as clear. One morning, you open your eyes at the same familiar hour, yet your head feels heavy, your body limp, your thoughts a half step behind. You tell yourself, maybe just 5 more minutes, and those 5 minutes pull you off balance from the fragile rhythm of aging. Science calls this clock the circadian rhythm, commanded by a cluster of tiny cells in the hypothalamus. In youth, it syncs swiftly with the light. In older age, it is sensitive yet fragile, easily thrown off by the slightest change. Melatonin, the brain's signal that it is time to sleep, gradually declines with the years, breaking sleep into fragments, leaving you awake in the night, unable to gather it back. Even the natural sleep hunger that builds in the brain during the day weakens, so morning no longer arrives with that sense of readiness. All of these small shifts create one essential need after 60, a clear anchor each morning, the habit of waking up at the same hour. A fixed wake-up time is like tightening the spring of that inner clock. When you stand up at the chosen time each day, the brain's weak signal is amplified. By night, you drift more easily into deep, less broken sleep. By day, your blood sugar steadies, cravings for sweets or mindless eating soften. The heart benefits as nighttime blood pressure dips on rhythm, preventing those sharp morning spikes. The brain thrives on regularity. Morning cortisol rises at its proper peak, memory and focus sharpen, decisions lean less on impulse. Over time, a disciplined inner clock lowers hidden risks from chronic low-grade inflammation, to mood disorders, to cognitive decline. The reverse is also true. Staying up late tonight, sleeping in tomorrow, or hitting snooze again and again may feel harmless, but they shatter the rhythm of sleep and wake into chaotic fragments. The body responds with higher baseline stress, unsettled emotions, confused hunger and satiety signals that drive overeating. In the long run, the brain's nightly cleansing system falters, waste products linger, and you find yourself foggy, forgetful, easily irritable. Even major cancer research organizations list long-term circadian disruption as a serious concern. Not to frighten you, but to remind you, one small morning habit can ripple across more layers of health than you imagine. So, how do you tighten that spring tomorrow morning? Choose a wake-up time that matches your body's current rhythm. Early morning is often most natural after 60, and treat it like an important appointment. Set a gentle alarm that rises in volume instead of startling you. When it rings, sit up right away, place your feet on the floor to mark the start of the day. Pull the curtains open, and let light into your eyes within the first few minutes, so the brain's clock can catch the signal. Reward yourself with a small ritual you enjoy. Brewing tea, tending a plant, opening the window for a deep breath. Do not bargain with the snooze button. Each press trains your body that the signal can be ignored. You do not need to reinvent yourself. You only need one repeated decision each morning. Rise at the hour you promised yourself. Do it for 7 days, then 14, and you will feel your nights grow gentler, your mind clearer, your digestion lighter. When the inner clock is anchored, the ship of your day sails more smoothly, with fewer jolts. And in that steady rhythm, which may seem ordinary on the surface, longevity is quietly extended one morning at a time. 2. Staying in bed, just 3 more minutes. In the morning, some people spring up the instant the alarm rings. The very first step hits the floor and the whole room tilts. Vision darkens for a few seconds, the heart pounds, knees wobble. Many blame it on old age, or a short night of sleep, but the truth is simpler. The body has just spent the night slowing down, heart rate low, blood pressure at its lowest, the nervous system resting and standing too quickly, sends blood rushing into the legs, leaving the brain briefly starved. After 60, the body's reflexes to correct this slow and weaken, so dizziness, lightheadedness, and even fainting happen more often than most realize. This has a very ordinary name, orthostatic hypotension. It is not just uncomfortable, it doubles or even triples the risk of falling. What makes it more insidious is that the symptoms do not always appear right away. You may sit up just fine, only to feel the world spin once you stand. Repeated swings in blood pressure quietly erode the brain. Each brief episode of undersupply dulls memory, chips away at clarity, and one fall from faintness can cost months of recovery, sometimes far more. That is why lingering 3 minutes on the bed is not self-indulgence. It is a strategy to protect safety, dignity, and independence. Those 3 minutes unfold like a small bridge. As soon as you open your eyes, breathe slowly and deeply 5 to 10 times, feeling the chest open like a door. That breathing gently wakes the cardiovascular system, sending oxygen evenly without shocking the body. Then roll to the side and sit at the edge of the bed, feet planted on the floor, waiting a moment while blood vessels tighten and pressure steadies. If you feel lightheaded, give it more time, fix your gaze, remind yourself that the body is recalibrating. When you stand, let your hand find a solid anchor bed frame, chair, railing before taking the first step. Not fast, not rushed, not a test of toughness in the most vulnerable moment of the day. The beauty of this slower rhythm is that it also benefits the inner clock. A sudden rush jolts cortisol at the wrong time, leaving you jittery for hours. A calm awakening, on the other hand, lets cortisol rise at its natural peak, sharpening focus, stabilizing the heart. It dovetails perfectly with a fixed wake-up hour. When the body knows precisely when the day begins and is shifted gently, baseline inflammation eases, blood sugar steadies, and you stand firmer against life's small shocks. Recent sleep research, even AI-driven analyses, confirms that waking during light sleep stages makes mornings easier, and an intentional, measured awakening makes that more likely. Respected institutions like Mayo Clinic, the CDC, and the National Institute on Aging recommend this very approach as a key piece of fall prevention. The 3-minute rule: deep breathing, while lying down, pausing at the bedside, then rising slowly with support, has been shown to significantly reduce fainting in vulnerable groups. For added safety, use nightlights in hallways, place non-slip rugs, review your medications, and check vitamin D levels with your physician. A small glass of water before standing, or light compression socks, can also help blood return to the heart more efficiently. Tomorrow, when the alarm rings, do not see those 3 minutes as a delay. See them as your boarding pass for a safe journey through the day. You do not need to prove you are still quick by leaping up. You need to protect your brain, your heart, your legs with the wisdom of maturity. Just 3 minutes, every morning. In return, you gain steadier mornings, a calmer body, and a longevity quietly strengthened by gentleness and resolve. 3. The first warm glass of water of the day. In the morning, there are days when you open your eyes and your throat feels drier than usual, your mind wrapped in a thin fog, your steps a little unsteady as you rise from bed. It is not that you weakened overnight. It is the quiet price of aging. Thirst becomes less sharp, the kidneys hold water less effectively, and the total water in your body declines, so a single night is enough to leave you mildly dehydrated. Many common medications at this age, especially diuretics, speed up water loss without triggering thirst to replace it. The result is morning fatigue, confusion, momentary dips in blood pressure, and a lurking risk of falls right in the kitchen or bathroom. One small habit can break that cycle: the first warm glass of water in the day. It sounds almost too simple, yet the aging body responds best to gentleness. Warm water enters like a soft awakening, allowing blood vessels to relax, helping circulation flow back into cold extremities, easing the morning shivers before the body warms itself. The stomach, slowed by age, finds comfort in warmth. Peristalsis resumes smoothly, bloating quiets. When digestion starts on the right tone, nutrients are absorbed more fully instead of being locked away by a sudden chill. The brain, composed mostly of water, reacts quickly to hydration or its lack. Even mild dehydration blurs focus, slows reflexes, fuels restlessness and headaches. A warm glass in the morning is like refilling the reservoir for your neurons, restoring oxygen flow and neurotransmitters, awakening clarity without the shock of cold. Cold water, though briefly refreshing, forces the body to spend energy warming it to core temperature, sometimes causing the digestive tract to spasm, a burden for older adults with sensitive stomachs. If you want flavor, a slice of lemon or a spoon of honey can offer a pleasant bridge. Lemon brings vitamin C and minerals. Honey has natural antibacterial properties and a touch of energy. But remember your own body. Honey can raise blood sugar, unsuitable if you are managing diabetes. Lemon's acidity may aggravate reflux in some. The essence remains the same: water, and warm water, kind to the stomach and blood vessels. Timing strengthens the habit. Upon waking, before coffee or breakfast, take a few minutes for a glass of warm water, around body temperature or slightly higher. No rush, no need to gulp it down in one go. Let the first sip soothe your dry throat, then let the warmth flow downward like lighting a gentle fire for the day. When water enters first, morning hormones align more smoothly. Cortisol rises to its natural peak instead of spiking chaotically, leaving your mind calmer and clearer. The most important thing is not some secret trick, but persistence. One warm glass every morning, repeated day after day, lays small bricks in the fortress of health. Fewer dizzy spells when standing, sharper clarity, steadier rhythms in heart and digestion. For older adults on multiple medications, this habit is also a quiet insurance against sudden drops in blood pressure. Tomorrow morning, when the first light brushes the curtains, begin with that warm glass. Not to change your whole life in a single swallow, but to remind your body that you are here, listening and caring for it in the smallest of ways. One warm glass, one steadier morning. Over time, that is how we build endurance, safeguard independence, and add quiet beats of peace to the rhythm of our years. 4. 10 minutes of gentle stretching. In the morning after 60, there are days when you sit up and your shoulders and back feel as if they are still stuck in the night before. Joints stiff, first steps sluggish, the body not yet truly warmed up. It is not that you weakened overnight. It is because the body has been still for hours. Joint fluid thickens as circulation slows, muscles cool, and the sensors that tell you where your body is fall asleep. If you skip the gentle bridge between sleep and waking, friction in the joints increases with every move, posture drifts out of alignment, balance becomes less steady. At this age, even a small stumble can become a real accident. The good news is that one simple morning habit can change the story. 10 minutes of gentle stretching, not heavy exercise, not breaking a sweat, is enough to wake up the joints and circulation. When you move slowly, joint fluid is released and thins, cartilage surfaces glide smoothly, and stiffness melts away. Blood flows into muscles and tissues around the joints, carrying oxygen and nutrients, restoring elasticity, and giving bones stronger support. At the same time, the body's position sensors switch back on. The brain receives a sharp map of your body, your steps become surer, movements more coordinated, and the risk of falling drops significantly. Studies show by as much as 20 to 30% when done consistently. Why only 10 minutes? Because the balance of benefit and risk is different in older adults. 5 to 10 minutes is enough to warm the muscles, increase circulation, and release mild tightness without pushing the body too hard. Short sessions make it easier to repeat every day, and that regularity is more powerful than long, sporadic workouts. With steady practice, inflammation quiets down, blood vessels stay flexible, blood pressure regulates more smoothly. Over time, these gentle movements are linked to a 15 to 20% reduction in overall mortality by improving vessel function, reducing arterial stiffness, and supporting blood pressure control. The benefits extend beyond the body. When you stretch with calm attention to your breath, brain regions for focus, memory, and coordination are activated. The body and mind reconnect, cortisol settles to a comfortable level, the parasympathetic system rises, and emotions feel steadier. People who maintain this habit often notice anxiety and low mood fade. Studies record improvements of 10 to 15%, and mornings begin with a deeper calm. If you want a smooth routine, think of it as a 10-minute song of linked movements. Begin with slow circles of the neck to melt stiffness, then roll the shoulders upward and down as if shaking off the night's weight. Once warmer, sit tall on the edge of the bed, arching and curling the spine like opening a window for your back. Extend one leg forward, reaching toward the toes, so the hamstrings and lower back can exhale their tightness. Rotate the ankles in both directions to wake up those small, often forgotten joints. Finally, stand, leaning gently to each side, feeling the ribs expand and the core engage to hold your balance. Move slowly, steadily, in rhythm with your breath. If you have chronic conditions or mobility limits, consult a healthcare professional for safe adjustments. Tomorrow, before rushing into the day, gift yourself those 10 minutes. Not to become young again, but to be freer in the body you live in now, joints supple, posture upright, mind clear. When gentle movement becomes your morning ritual, you quietly build resilience, safeguard independence, and place one more firm brick in the foundation of longevity day by day. 5. Morning light exposure. There are mornings when you pull back the curtains and the room still feels half asleep. Your mind not fully awake, your body still hesitating as if it has not yet shifted gears. After 60, that feeling shows up more often, not because you weakened overnight, but because your inner biological clock needs a clear reset. Morning light is that reset button. Just a few minutes, standing on the porch, letting light touch your eyes gently, and you are sending a powerful signal to the brain. The new day has truly begun. At its simplest, light has many wavelengths, but the blue band around 460, 480 nanometers is the language special retinal cells hear most clearly. From there, the signal travels straight to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the body's master clock, and within minutes melatonin is turned down, making space for alertness. About 30 to 60 minutes later, cortisol, the natural lever for waking, rises at the right rhythm. For older adults, when the clock's signal has grown weaker, morning light becomes even more essential to keep the day-night cycle from drifting off course. When you step outside in the morning, that night's sleep is already being planted. Regular morning light helps the body tune in better. You fall asleep a little earlier, sleep more deeply, and wake less often at night. Studies show that exposure to brightness between 2,500 and 10,000 lux for just 10-15 minutes daily can improve sleep quality, especially for older adults prone to insomnia. In other words, morning light is a simple but enduring medicine, regular, short, but precisely what the body needs. The benefits do not stop with sleep. When morning light touches the eyes, serotonin, the neurotransmitter linked to motivation and calm, is supported. Just 10-15 minutes of daily exposure has been linked to reduced anxiety, sharper focus, and, in cases of seasonal disorder, significant drops in severe negative thoughts. A bright morning often means a brighter mind, less heaviness, less impulsivity, clearer work and decisions. Many ask about vitamin D. Sunlight can convert precursors in the skin into pre-vitamin D3, the foundation for calcium absorption and strong bones, while also tuning immunity to lower inflammation and infection risk. For this purpose, midday exposure is more effective, about 10-30 minutes, with around 20% of the skin such as arms and face uncovered, depending on latitude and skin tone. But in the morning, the number one goal remains resetting rhythm, awakening alertness, and lifting mood. If you live where sunlight is scarce, light therapy is a safe, useful option. A 10,000 lux device, full spectrum, placed at eye level 16, 24 inches away, used for 20-30 minutes within the first hour of waking, can improve sleep, mood, and circadian alignment. For seasonal depression or insomnia, its effects may be comparable to natural sunlight. In practice, step outside within 1 to 2 hours of waking, ideally between 6 and 9 a.m., and stand in an open space for 10-15 minutes. Face the source of light indirectly, never stare at the sun, to protect your eyes. Set aside sunglasses if your eyes tolerate it, so the light can reach the retina. If using a lamp, choose one without UV, and follow safety guidance carefully. You are retraining the clock in your brain, so the signal must be clear and gentle. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, touch the light. Open the door, take a deep breath, let the blue of the sky turn the reset knob inside you. No rush, no fuss, just 15 faithful minutes each day. From one small habit, you are redrawing the path of your sleep, your mood, your vitality. And sometimes, longevity is nothing more than the sum of such mornings. 6. Breakfast, soft, warm, wholesome, balanced. Have you ever sat at the breakfast table, looked at a cold bowl of cereal, and felt your stomach tighten? After 60, the body no longer handles breakfast the way it did at 40. Metabolism slows by 1 to 2% every decade. Muscle mass declines, hormones shift, digestive enzymes like pepsin, lipase, and amylase lose their vigor, dropping by as much as 20 to 30% by the age of 70. For many, the stomach lining thins, acid production dwindles, absorption falters, constipation lurks. A heavy, overly sweet, or icy meal becomes a challenge. Blood sugar spikes, then crashes, the belly swells, and fatigue drags on for hours. The solution lies in something gentle, a breakfast that is soft, warm, wholesome, and balanced. Soft, so it does not strain weakened teeth or a throat that swallows more slowly. Warm, so it awakens peristalsis, helps digestive enzymes flow, and eases bloating. Wholesome and balanced means choosing whole, minimally processed foods, combining protein, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, and fiber, the pieces that together steady blood sugar, reduce background inflammation, and nourish the gut microbiome. When protein and fat are present early, you feel full longer, cravings for sweets ease, and most importantly, your body has the building blocks to fight age-related muscle loss. Healthy fats act as conductors, coordinating anti-inflammatory signals. Complex carbs and fiber from whole grains, vegetables, and fruits ferment into short-chain fatty acids that feed the gut lining, improve regularity, and quiet hidden sparks of inflammation. If you have ever wondered why longevity regions like Okinawa or Sardinia begin their days so gently, the answer lies in principle, not strict recipes. In Okinawa, a bowl of warm miso soup, sweet potato, and a cup of green tea set the tone. Probiotics, complex starches, antioxidants working together to support gut health and endurance. In Sardinia, sourdough bread, a slice of pecorino cheese, and a small jar of yogurt bring prebiotic fiber, protein, and beneficial bacteria for heart and metabolic health. The common thread is clear: plant-based foods making up 90 to 95%, a love for fermented foods, and little to no added sugar. Back in your own kitchen, let breakfast be a ritual of restoration, not a test of stamina. A warm bowl of oatmeal topped with berries, a handful of almonds or walnuts, and a light drizzle of honey offers fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats while staying easy to digest. A bowl of miso soup with tofu and seaweed brings warmth, probiotics, and gentle protein to the gut. Or a slice of whole grain bread spread with avocado delivers softness, nutrients, healthy fats, and fiber. Depending on your taste, aim for roughly 20 to 25 grams of protein, 10 to 15 grams of healthy fats, 30 to 40 grams of complex carbs, and 5 to 10 grams of fiber. More important than numbers is rhythm. Eat within 1 to 2 hours of waking to keep blood sugar steady and fuel your morning cleanly. If you are used to the quick hit of cold sweets or icy drinks, the warmth may feel unfamiliar at first. But an older body loves gentle touches. A breakfast that is soft, warm, wholesome, and balanced does not promise miracles overnight. It offers you a daily foundation where digestion flows smoothly, the mind sharpens, energy stays steady. Tomorrow morning, before reaching for a pastry or an ice-cold smoothie, ask yourself, do I want my body to sprint for 10 minutes, or to stay strong all morning? Pour a warm bowl, sit down, and let gentleness nourish you from within. Repeat, day after day. That is the simplest way to preserve independence, extend endurance, and lay another solid brick in the foundation of your longevity. 7. Gratitude and connection. There are mornings when you sit by the window, the coffee still warm in your hand, yet your heart feels empty. It is not the lack of caffeine, it is the lack of a thread tying you to someone else. After 60, that thread matters more than ever. Strong connections can cut the risk of death nearly in half by steadying physiology, lowering inflammation, and strengthening immunity. Loneliness, on the other hand, quiet but corrosive, can be as harmful as obesity or heavy drinking. The good news is that even one small ritual each morning can change the tone of your entire day. When you begin the day with gratitude, the body answers clearly. Cortisol, the brake of stress, drops by 20 to 30%, inflammatory markers ease. Sleep that night becomes gentler. The brain itself reshapes in helpful ways. The wiring between executive and reward regions strengthens, giving you more control over emotions and a natural tilt toward the positive. A morning phone call to a loved one, breakfast shared with a partner, or a few words with a neighbor are enough to release oxytocin, the bonding glue that lifts mood like sunlight breaking through clouds. This effect is not fleeting. Starting the day with gratitude or connection activates the brain's reward motivation pathway, releasing dopamine and serotonin so you carry more energy and emotional stability. A positive loop forms. Good mood drives better choices, and better choices lift mood again. Small practices like keeping a gratitude journal or sharing a meal help quiet the nagging voice in your head, nurture optimism, and lower anxiety or depression by 15 to 25%. Look at the world's longevity regions, and you see this is not a slogan. There, family and community are the daily frame, breakfast circles, short strolls with neighbors, the comfort of belonging like a well-fitting coat. These simple rituals reduce inflammation, strengthen mental health, sharpen cognition, and, over time, can add up to 7 years of quality life. No miracle, just a rhythm of living with people to lean on. So how will your morning begin? Try opening a small notebook and writing down 3 things you are grateful for today. A steadier night of sleep, a warm glass of water, or even a door that no longer sticks. Then pick up the phone and call a friend you have not spoken to in a while, or simply invite someone at home to share the table. If you live near a community garden, water a row of plants. If not, take a minute or two with eyes closed to remember a meaningful relationship or a purpose that makes you want to rise and move forward. These small choices set the emotional tone for the whole day. Some mornings you will be busy, some mornings shy to reach out. Remember, you are not performing cheerfulness. You are training your body and brain in a protective habit. Each act of connection lowers cortisol again, quiets inflammation again, lifts immunity again. Each act of gratitude rewires the brain toward calm and clarity. Tomorrow morning, before you scroll a screen, scroll through a connection, write a line, call a person, share a meal. Repeat it long enough, and you will feel emotional resilience deepen, sleep grow more restful, the body less strained by stress. And in that quiet persistence, longevity is held up by the simplest truth: we have each other. As we close this morning journey, I want you to remember one simple truth, short, but strong enough to carry your whole day. Longevity is not the prize of iron will. It is the result of small choices repeated with gentleness. 1 consistent wake-up hour to keep your inner clock steady. 3 lingering minutes to let the body shift safely. A warm glass of water to wake the brain and blood vessels without shock. 10 minutes of stretching to ease the joints and steady your steps. A touch of morning light to reset alertness and lift mood. A soft, warm, wholesome, balanced breakfast to soothe digestion and steady energy. And 1 word of gratitude or a small connection to make the heart less lonely, each one small. But repeated, they become anchors. Tomorrow morning, try 1 clear step. Set your alarm for the time you want to keep. When it rings, breathe slowly for a few counts, sit on the edge of the bed, drink half a warm glass, open the door to let light reach your eyes, stretch through 3 gentle moves, prepare a kind breakfast, write down 3 things you are grateful for, or send a message to a friend. Not all at once. Just the one that feels easiest. Then repeat the next day, and the day after. You may be surprised to notice calmness rising first, then sleep, then energy, then the sense that you are in charge of your day. If this sharing touched your morning, leave me a small sign, press like so I know you are here, subscribe so you do not miss the next journeys, and comment with the morning habit you will begin tomorrow. Steady mornings, peaceful days, longer life. We walk together, one morning at a time.